Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, American racism in the news. And I'm not just talking some prominent white dude using the N-word or something. No, I am talking about old school Jim Crow shit right here, right now, in 2026. A month ago or so, you might recall, I addressed the right-wing mania for voter ID, which is really just a ruse aimed at suppressing voter turnout from people of color. It's some bad shit, to be sure, but it's only part of an all-out war on voters of color. Various GOP-dominated states, for instance, are working overtime to purge voter rolls of people with black and brown skin, and the Supreme Court continues to gut the Voting Rights Act, which, along with the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s, ended the racist Jim Crow laws across the South, which had oppressed black people since the end of Reconstruction. In the case Louisiana versus Calais, the Supreme Court ruled last week that it is unconstitutional for a state to create minority-majority districts aimed at creating proportionate racial representation in legislative bodies. That is, if a state has a population that's 1/3 black, as with Louisiana, then 1/3 of its voting districts should be majority black. It's how we've gotten black representatives into Congress these last 60 years from the South, but not anymore. Apparently, the Supreme Court says it violates white people's rights. And that in itself is alarming, because it means the court has internalized the false right-wing media assertion that there is no longer any racism against people of color, but now lots of racism toward white people. An obviously psychotic notion, but there you have it. It's what the Supreme Court believes. But the more immediate effect is that a lot of black faces are going to disappear from Congress quickly. Southern state legislatures are now racing to redistrict and wipe out Southern black representation. This makes us about halfway to Jim Crow, kill the Civil Rights Act too, and we are there. We're closer than you might think. Last week, news broke that 1/4 of all ICE arrests have been people who were just standing around or nearby ICE's intended targets. Then the news broke that ICE has been massively underreporting detention injuries. It is so fucking obvious that all this ICE shit has nothing to do with crime or even immigration at all, and everything to do with Spanish and brown skin, their fucking slave patrols. Then we got that nutcase lieutenant governor over in South Carolina who wants to cut funding for historically black universities and colleges because one of them won't let her speak at their graduation. Imagine that. Well, that's racism, plain and simple. Old school with the southern drawl. They won't let me speak at their graduation. Well, we'll just have to defund all of those nasty racist black people. We're this close to full Jim Crow, and the conservatives are drooling with excitement over it, even while at the same time, as usual, insisting they're the true victims of racism. You know, like the oppressed white victims of South African racism who Trump courts as refugees. It's all such a massive, mind-numbing blast of racist shit. I will not forget to tell these people constantly to suck my dick. And you shouldn't forget either. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe.